Good morning, everyone. How are you today? How are you today? You guys can post in the chat with me today in the chat because I can't see your beautiful faces when we're on a webinar, but welcome. I'm so glad you're all here today for my live masterclass. We're going to get started in about 30 seconds and give people time to come on. I want to make sure you have a notebook or something to write with because we're going to take some great notes today. I'm going to give you a lot of value. I'm going to do some teaching for the first 45 minutes or so. And in the last 10-15 minutes, I am going to share an amazing opportunity with all of you to deepen your knowledge if this content today resonates for you. And feel free to post some questions in the chat near the end as well. All right, let's get started. So I have a board here with me, but I don't even want you to see the questions that I have for you first. I just want to welcome you and really acknowledge you for taking this time today to inquire about what this is. A lot of you have heard about this, my courses from friends of yours, or maybe you follow me on social media, and I really just want to acknowledge you for taking the time to be here with me today. I don't take it lightly. I also know you came here for a specific reason, and maybe you don't even know why you came here, but I promise that by the end of this 60 minutes together, you will get clarity on why you're here, things like what you really want in your life, what might be blocking you, so that you can leave here today. My goal is that you leave here today and you have clarity and you have a direction and you have some tools in your toolbox, no matter what you choose to do. Okay? Awesome. So my name is Adele Tevlin. I'm the founder and CEO of C.E.O. Blueprint. I am a therapist, a cognitive behavioral therapist, an inner child therapist, an NLP practitioner, a coach. I have been in the behavior space, in the personal growth and development space for almost 20 years. I've been obsessed with personal development my entire life. And I've just been fascinated with what makes people successful. You know, what's the difference between people that are successful versus unsuccessful? What is the difference between why can some people stick to a diet and other people can't? You know, what's going on with that? Because something that I've termed a long time ago is people know what to do and they still don't do it. Right? Like, you know, you need to be eating this or not eating this. And yet people still do behaviors that they know consciously they shouldn't be doing. So why do we do that? And we're going to learn a little bit about that today. But before I bring in the teaching, I want to ask you a couple questions that you want to write down in your notebooks. Okay. And I hope you can see that. So I want you to ponder these right now for a few moments before we get started. And really have this be what's in your mind as we go through the content today. So the first question is, what do you want to do with the rest of your life? Right? Who's asked you that lately? Probably not a lot of people. But what do you want to do with the rest of your life? Like the thing with COVID, and the reason I started to run this course, these courses that I teach through COVID, was because people were coming to me with not only a lot of anxiety, but a lot of uncertainty. And the thing about uncertainty is when we start to explain more about our mind and how our mind works here today, we do not do well with uncertainty. Human beings do not like uncertainty. We crave certainty. And part of that is because it gives us a sense of security. And we'll talk more about that later today. So, but I also believe that COVID has given us the gift of COVID, the opportunity, so to speak, because there's opportunities in every problem. Is that it's allowed people permission to go inward and to really take a look at their lives and themselves and say, what's going on with my life? You know, do I like where I'm at? Do I want to make some changes? What do I want to do with the rest of my life? You know, life's changed. What do I want to do with it? So I want to ask the question, what do you want to do with the rest of your life? Has there been a burning desire inside of you, a business you've wanted to start, the body you've wanted to have, the financial security and literacy or ability to learn how to manifest money into your life? What are some of the things that have been coming up for you lately? Okay. Question 2 is, what do you really want in your life right now? So when I go into deeper teachings on this, what I really mean by that is the word desire. And desire is actually part of our built-in subconscious programming. We are all here for a specific purpose. We have a specific blueprint and desire in our life. But a lot of us growing up, we're not given permission to want what we want. So you might want to write that down. You're probably going to want to write a lot of things I say down, but especially things that I emphasize or repeat twice. Most of us were not given permission to want what we want in life. And so when I ask someone a question like, what do you really want? They'll look at me like I have 7 heads because nobody's asked them. We were often conditioned, and very much my life took a very similar turn. I was conditioned to believe I needed to have and be a certain way. I needed to live a certain kind of life inside the constraints and paradigms that my parents taught me. And I didn't really start to question what I really wanted until, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, more specifically in the last 5 years. And I started to get really clear on that my desire is innate inside of me, and it's my purpose in life, okay? What I'm doing here with you guys today, what I teach, my courses, is part of my desire. It's part of my purpose, okay? So give yourself permission to speculate here today. What do I really want right now? And a good clue for you, if you're stuck or you have a hard time, is ask yourself, what do I think about in my secret thoughts, okay, that I don't share with anybody, right? So you're going to write that down, and you don't have to share it with anybody. And then question 3 is, why are you here today? Why are you here today? And so maybe that's, you have a problem you want to solve, or a lot of people have reached out to me saying, I'm not clear on my purpose, or I don't know what direction I need to be going to. I want to pivot something, and you're not clear on the next step. So that's a great reason to be here today. But I want you all, no matter what your reason is, I want you to trust, and please listen and hear me, that you're all here on this webinar here at this exact moment in this time for a very specific reason. And when I go into deeper teachings about the universe, not here today, we won't have time, but in some of my programs, you'll understand that nothing happens by coincidence. The universe operates by mathematics. And when you get the power of that, you get that something brought you here because there's a message for you to hear, and you're ready to receive it. So I want you to have that framework in your mind as we go along today. You are here for a reason. You're ready to receive it. You're ready for change. Otherwise, you would not be here today. Okay? Good. Let me know. Pop in the chat if you have any questions, thumbs up, whatever. I'll try to manage that as well as I teach. Okay, so let's get started. I want to start actually with one of my favorite quotes. One of my favorite quotes by a gentleman named Leland Van Vandewall, okay? So I'm going to read it twice so you have a chance to write it down. The degree to which a person can grow is directly proportional to the amount of truth he can accept about himself without running away. The degree to which a person can grow is directly proportional to the amount of truth he or she can accept about himself or herself without running away. I just love this quote because it's so true insofar that when you can really start to tell the truth on yourself and say, I am here for a reason, right? I have created my life. And that's one of the first principles we're going to talk about here today, which is called personal responsibility. And it starts with understanding that you've created your life the way that it is. And if you don't like the way that you've created your life, what's really amazing to understand is that your greatest power, make sure you write this down. My greatest power is my ability to choose. Okay? You're a conscious human being, and we're the only species that we know of that has a conscious mind. We're going to talk a lot about the conscious and subconscious mind here in a few moments. And your conscious mind is your intellect. It has the ability to choose. So when you're not aware of that though, so most people move through life unaware that they have the power to choose. They believe, and this is cool, if you want to actually place yourself when I'm talking about this, where are you on the spectrum of awareness? Do you believe life's happening to you? Are you a victim of your circumstances? Or do you believe you have the power to choose? Do you believe that you create your reality? Because one of the things you're going to learn here today is you create your reality based on what? The thoughts and beliefs that you hold in your subconscious mind. Please write that down. You create your reality based on the thoughts and beliefs that you hold in your subconscious mind. And I want to read you something from one of my favorite books that I teach from called As a Man Thinketh, which is the best, written by James Allen, if you need to see that. It's the best book ever written on personal responsibility and the law of cause and effect, which I go into deep teachings on. But here's what you want to understand about what we're going to go into here in a moment. he has a little poem at the beginning of this book, and this is one of my favorite poems I read every day. It says, mind is the master power that molds and makes, and man is mind, and evermore he takes the tool of thought, and shaping what he wills, brings forth 1,000 joys, 1,000 ills. He thinks in secret, and it comes to pass. Environment is but his looking glass. When I first read this, I don't know, probably 6 years ago at this point, I had to look up what a looking glass was, and I realized it was a mirror. And so what's this poem saying? It's saying that mind is the master power that molds and makes. And we're going to learn that the subconscious mind is our power center, okay? And that it is actually the part of us that controls and governs almost everything. So he's saying that it's the master power that molds and makes. And man is mind, and evermore he takes the tool of thought. Notice how he says tool of thought, because your thought is a tool. And it shapes what he wills, brings forth 1,000 joys, 1,000 ills. What he means there is whatever you think about all day long, you become. So if you're someone that thinks negative thoughts all day long, your reality and your circumstances and results are negative. If you're someone that has positive thoughts or optimistic thoughts, or if you think about opportunity, you start to manifest that in your life as results. When he says a looking glass, what he means is that your subconscious mind and your mind project into your reality everything that you're thinking about in your secret thoughts. So I want you to think about that as I go into explaining how the conscious and subconscious mind works. Okay, so Dr. Thurman Fleet in 1934 came up with this stick figure, okay? And it's a representation of how the mind and the body work, okay? So we actually have 3 parts of the mind. Most people don't know that. They think that the mind is the brain. They go right to thinking the mind is the brain. The mind is not just the brain. The mind is composed of your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, and the body. And that's really important for us to understand. And you know, we know that when we hold certain stress or anxiety, we will feel that manifest in the body. So there's 3 aspects of the mind. So what's important about this to understand is the following. Your conscious mind, that's what I just talked about before, it has the power to choose. Choose what? Choose our thoughts, choose how we feel, choose what we watch. Do we watch the news? Do we not watch the news? Choose who we hang out with, choose what we read, choose what we believe. It also has the ability to accept and reject information. This is really important because you're listening to this right now, and part of you might be agreeing or disagreeing, or you're thinking about it. That's your conscious mind. It's also called your intellect. Your intellect, okay? Very, very important to understand that we have the power to choose and the power to accept and reject information. So, you know, you might watch the news and be like, oh, I believe that, I don't believe that. This is the part of you that thinks and reasons. So that's really important. The intellect gives you the ability to reason. On the other hand, you've got your subconscious mind. Now, what's really important about the subconscious mind, and you really, really, really want to get this, your subconscious mind does not have the power to choose. It does not have the power to accept and reject information. It can only accept everything in as fact. Said another way, it's called deductive in nature. It's deductive in nature. It believes everything that it experiences as fact. And you'll understand this more when we go later, but how people will talk to themselves and be like, I don't want to be fat. I don't want to be broke. I don't want this. I don't want that. But because the subconscious mind is deductive, it only hears fat, broke, unhappy. Okay? It does not have the ability to reject. Okay? It's also called your power center. So it's where all the information is stored about you, and it's where things in your life become habitual. So everything that gets brought into your subconscious mind becomes a habit. Now, here's what's really important to understand. And this is a real fact and statistic. 90% of your day, how you live your day, is in your subconscious mind. It means it's automatic. And you even want to look for yourself, like you wake up in the morning, you know, you have your routine, you brush your teeth, you put your clothes on, you go to work. Most of what you do is completely subconscious. So it really, you have to see how much it really governs your life. Okay, but here's what's really, really, really important. So I hope everyone has this written down. The subconscious mind cannot accept and reject. It accepts everything as fact. The conscious mind has the power to choose, okay? So here's what's really, really important about that. And we'll go back to that image in a moment. Prior to the age of 7, please listen. This is very important. Prior to the age of 7, we do not have a conscious mind. And if some of you on this call are parents or moms or dads, you're going to go right to thinking about your children right now if you have kids under 7. And I actually implore you to just think this for yourself. Like you're going to start thinking about how you were raised in your childhood. Prior to 7, we have no conscious mind. We're only in our subconscious mind. What's important to understand about that is your subconscious mind, remember, it does not have the ability to choose. It's deductive. So everything going on around us goes into our subconscious mind. And remember, your subconscious mind cannot reject or accept. It just accepts everything as fact. So think about who you were raised with or who was in your life 0 to 7. For most people, it's their parents, maybe it was grandparents, maybe it was coaches or teachers or other people. So I want you to think about the values, beliefs, and emotions that you grew up around. And then I'm going to give you a second just to like connect with that. The values, beliefs, and emotions of your mom and dad or whoever raised you. So what happens is the things that happened prior to 7 that came into your subconscious mind became fixed. But they became fixed in 2 ways. So I want you to hear this. It's not the things that happened to you or you heard once in your life. It's the things that were repeated over time. So maybe you saw your parents fighting, or maybe you had an abusive parent, or maybe you know, something happened to you traumatically, or maybe your parents always talked about lack. There was never enough money. There was never enough time. These values, beliefs, and emotions and ideas got fixed into your subconscious mind. What did they get fixed as? Well, I call them false beliefs, or core beliefs, or core wounds. You're going to hear me use those terms interchangeably. What are some examples of false beliefs or core wounds? I'll give you the ones that are really common. And I've been doing this for a long time, so I see this in most of the people I work with. I'm not good enough. And if this resonates for you, you can write it down. I'm not good enough. Maybe you also heard there is never enough, or there's not enough, or you're not enough. For other people, they feel not safe. I'm not safe. Another common one is I'm not worthy. These are just a few to give you an example of some core wounds or false beliefs. So think about this, right? So 0 to 7, you don't have a conscious mind. So you don't have the ability to reject information. So these beliefs, which you inherited from your mom and dad or whoever raised you, get fixed into your subconscious mind. Then, after the age of 7 to 12, we start to develop a conscious mind. But at this point, these beliefs are already fixed. Okay, so here's what's next that's really, really important for you to understand. These beliefs and subconscious mind inform how you think about the world. How you think about the world. So what do I mean by that? If you have a belief that you are not good enough, you see life through the lens of not being good enough. So how you think about the world comes from how you were raised by your mom and dad. The subconscious mind is the how of the mind. Notice how some people are super pessimistic or optimistic or glass half full or glass half empty or over or worry for all the time or anticipate negative things. That is how they've been conditioned and programmed to think. Okay, so let's move back to the first picture. So I'll give you all an extra 30 seconds here to write that down while I have a sip of my coffee. Okay, so now let's go back to Mr. Stick from the first diagram. Conscious, subconscious. So now you're your age now, however old you are, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, doesn't matter. Your subconscious mind, we just learned, tells us how to think. It's where all of our beliefs are, I call it a paradigm, which is a set of beliefs. That's where they are. So for those people who don't, like, think for yourself, what are some of the ones that are resonating? I'm not good enough. There's not enough. Life is a struggle. I'm not safe. I'm not worthy. I'm not lovable. Okay? That is how you see, that's how you think. So let's look at it this way. You see with your eyes. What do you see in your life right now? Your results, circumstances, and environment. So just take a look at your results in your life right now, okay? Maybe you're looking at your finances. Maybe you're looking at your relationships. Maybe you're looking at your physical health. So this is your results. So you see your results with your eyes, and it goes into your conscious mind. Now, your conscious mind thinks in pictures. So maybe you see debt. Maybe you see excess weight. Maybe you see not great relationships with people. So here's what's happening. Your subconscious mind is telling your conscious mind how to think about what it experiences. I really want you to pay attention and think here for a minute. Your subconscious mind is always feeding your conscious mind how to think about what you're perceiving, what you're experiencing. Said another way, think of it this way. When COVID hit, what was your subconscious mind telling you about the environment? Were you thinking you were doomed? Or did you see opportunity? How you think about what you experience, and the how was programmed prior to 7 by other people. Other people have given you how to think about life. This really needs to be sending some rocket fuel into your brain right now. What do you believe? Well, I always say, show me your results and I will tell you what you believe subconsciously. Because this is what that whole poem was about. Let me read it one more time and see if it starts to make more sense. Mind is the master power that molds and makes. 3 parts of the mind. And man is mind, and evermore he takes the tool of thought and shaping what he wills, brings forth 1,000 joys, 1,000 ills. He thinks in secret, and it comes to pass, environment is but his looking glass. It's the mirror. It's the mirror. So your subconscious mind is telling your conscious mind what to think, how to think about what it experiences. But your how you think has been programmed prior to 7. And unless you reprogram how you think, okay, unless you learn how to actually reprogram the subconscious mind, which is what all of my work is all about, and start to create new belief systems based on who you are now and where you're going, what you want to achieve, You'll always notice how you're stuck in a feedback loop, how you repeat the same things over and over again. You repeat the same relationships, you repeat the same financial set point, you repeat the same yo-yo dieting, whatever you're repeating. It's because your 90% of your life is being driven by your subconscious paradigm and programs, and most people are completely unaware of what those are. So I want you to really sit with that for a minute. I really want you to sit with that for a moment. Here's the really powerful part. You have the ability to change your life right now. How would you feel if you could live the life of your dreams, if you could have what you really wanted in that second question that you wrote? How would you feel if life was actually easy? How would you feel if this time next year, you were living the life of your dreams, you were in the body, you had the financial security that you want? It is all possible. But the only way it's possible is by changing the way that we think. Yeah, euphoric, Gina said. The only way that you need to hear this. If you don't understand this, this is where people will stay stuck forever. And I've been doing this for 20 years, so trust me when I say this. If you think there's a quick fix solution, you're wrong. It starts with understanding, how did I get here? And then you have to understand how to rewire. This is all based on neuroscience, which is my background. How to rewire the subconscious beliefs and paradigms and how to heal those core wounds so you could start to manifest the life you desire. And it is so profound that when people really take that personal responsibility and say, I am ready now. I am done living the other version of my life. That's usually when people come see me. They're like, I am done. Okay, great. So I'm going to ask you, we're going to go through a couple questions that I really want you to think to get clear on what you really want, because unless you're clear on what you really want, you will not achieve it. Okay. You need to have a clear understanding of what you want. And I hope that certain core beliefs, limiting beliefs, false beliefs that you have about yourself are getting clear. Write them down. Okay. Write them down. And post in the chat how you're doing so far. If you need me to clarify anything or if it's going good, you let me know, because I cannot see your beautiful faces. Okay, so I'm going to ask you these 5 questions and they're going to bring clarity. Why do I keep talking about clarity? Okay, so that's my superpowers. A couple superpowers. I'm able to get people really clear very fast. This whole idea of being confused, confusion racket I call it, is a way that your subconscious mind keeps you safe. So let me explain that for a second. Your subconscious mind has 2 functions. 2, to keep you safe and the same, and procreation. That's it. Safe and the same, procreation. So your subconscious mind doesn't want you to change. For some of you, you might be listening to what I'm saying and already resisting it because your subconscious mind doesn't want you to change. So you need to understand that. You need to understand that if there's any resistance coming up for you, it's normal, because your subconscious mind thinks it's safer for you to stay exactly as you are, even if you're broke and unhealthy. So when people go into confusion, it's a sign that their subconscious mind, the part of their mind called the ego, the limbic system, is taking over. It's a way to keep you safe. So I want you to get super clear today on what you want and why you want it, because that will be the first course of action that's necessary to start to bring in what you want. And I'll share opportunity at the end of this masterclass on how to continue deepening this work. Okay. So question 1, what do you really want? Now, I know I asked that at the beginning, but there's a reason I ask it again. You have to ask yourself, do I want something because I think I'm going to be safe? So for example, let's say you want more money. Why do you really want that money? Do you think it's going to make you never have to work again or give you some level of security? You want to be clear here that you're choosing what you want. This is very important. So please, please, please listen. You're choosing something that is about your heart's desire and your fuller expression here on earth, not to keep you safe. This is very important. Most people live their life. In your subconscious mind, you have 2 parts of you. The part of you that wants safety and security and control. safety, security, control, and the other part that's your heart's desire. These two things are constantly competing against themselves. So maybe your desire is to start a business or to move to a different country or to start a relationship or to leave a relationship, whatever it is. But on the other hand, your need to feel safe and in control is dominating you. You cannot create your heart's desire, which is your higher self, when you're in fear in the world of the ego. It's impossible. They're two sides of the same coin. When you're in fear and ego, you cannot have what you really want. So when I ask, what do you really want? I'm actually talking about your heart's desire, not safety and security, because there's no such thing as safety and security. Like I can walk out my door tomorrow and get, hit by a bus, more likely than I could probably die of COVID. But people have lost sense of that. They think that there's some place in life that'll keep them safe. We're so programmed for safety. But the truth is, safety is learning how to think properly and accurately, which is what we're talking about here today. Safety is your power to choose. Safety is your power to manifest. Safety is your power to think for yourself. Okay? So you want to think, is this coming from fear or is it coming from my higher self? So what do you really, really want? Question 2. Why do you want it? Why do you want it? So this is a really important question, and how I want you to think about why is, so I'll give an example. Like, let's say someone wants to lose weight or they want to make more money. Those are usually, or, it's usually money, something physical, maybe better relationships, really that's kind of what encapsulates most people's desires. So let's say you say, I want to lose weight. And I would say, okay, well, why? And, the first reaction is, well, I want to fit in my clothes better. Or if they want to make more money, well, why? Well, I want to be able to buy that car. So that's usually the most superficial reason why. Where I want you to go here for a moment, I'll give you a minute. I want to actually give you a minute to write this out for yourselves. And I'd love for some of you to pop this into the chat. Your why has to give you goosebumps. It has to bring an emotional charge to you. Here's why. If your why is not linked to something real, you will not create it because your subconscious mind, the part of you, remember, that wants to keep you safe and the same, won't allow it. What I mean by that is your desire and your why needs to be stronger than your fear. I'll say that again. Your desire and why need to be stronger than your fear. So why do you want what you want? So how that would look in this exercise is, if you were talking about losing weight or making more money, an example of a real why, like a real soul why, is because you want to be around to see your children grow up, or you don't want to recreate your parents' history, or you want to see the smile on your kid's face when you bring them home a gift for the holidays. Like, really get anchored in why you want what you want, okay? Question 3. Why do you think you don't already have what you want? Why do you think you don't already have the thing you want? This is really important that you take a minute here to think about it. Because here's how it is. You say you want something, more money, more time, more resources, more love, whatever. And it's anchored in something really important. So then why don't you have it already? Why haven't you been able to lose that weight and keep it off? Why are you still in debt? Why are you not able to pay your bills on time? Why are you struggling to make ends meet? Why do you believe that there's not enough? Why are you still where you're at? So the question is, why do you think you don't have it yet? And take a minute and really think about why you think you don't have it yet. I'd love actually a few people to put in the chat why they think they might not have what they want. Yeah, so why don't you have it? Beliefs of unworthiness. Perfect example. Self-sabotage, feeling like you don't actually deserve it. 100%, Jenna. Great. So we'll talk a bit when I'm done this about self-sabotage, but I'll bring it up. So, and I did a video about this the other day, that sabotaging patterns show up like when you're going towards, so here's what's going to happen. You're going to say you want something and you're going to start going towards it. And then something's going to show up in your life that's going to completely sabotage you. That's called your sabotaging strategy. And I go into deeper teachings about that in my program. We all have a way that we sabotage ourselves. And you're right. Jenna said it perfectly. And a few of you thank you for sharing all that. Total sabotaging behaviors and thoughts. No one in my family has achieved all I desire. Totally. So you don't have, Suzanne, great. You don't have someone to look up to, but here's the other thing. This is so important. If you are doing better than your family, you are sabotaging your success because subconsciously you do not want disapproval from them and you want to stay connected and loved. Your subconscious mind is ingenious. So sabotaging strategies are like getting sick, getting tired, stopping just before you hit a goal, not allowing yourself to achieve success because you need to stay safe and in control, or you want to stay connected to your family, or you don't want them to disapprove, or you don't want to be successful because you don't want staying small. You don't want other people to say anything about you. We're so afraid of judgment and criticism, right? So we stay small. These are all sabotaging strategies of the subconscious mind. And you need to learn, there's a tool and skill of learning how to master and shift that belief and thinking so that you become the authority in your life. You become the authority, not your mom and dad, not your 7-year-old self. We all have an inner child. She's about 5, 6, 7, or he that we live with who's wounded. And you're craving feeling loved and worthy by somebody else out there. And part of the magic of this work is learning how to give yourself the love that you did get, or to meet the needs that your parents didn't give you. Now, let me be clear here. Your parents are not bad people. They were doing the best they could with the resources and awareness that they have. All of us as children didn't get our needs met on some level. All of us, even if you had fantastic parents. I've never worked with someone that got all their needs met. This work is about reparenting yourself, rewiring the belief, building the self-love, building that self-worth from the inside out, and then learning how, as you shift those beliefs and paradigms in your subconscious mind, your reality starts to change. This is what happened for me. When I started to heal my wounded inner child, when I started to understand that I was creating a life based on subconscious programming of my childhood, and I started to do this work, everything in my life changed. My finances, my happiness, my relationships, my ability to manifest what I desire. And this is what I teach. This is why I'm so passionate about it, because I am a lived experience and a student of this work for a very long time. And you have to really understand that if you're creating results in your life that you don't like, you're responsible for it because of the way you've been programmed to think. And it's your power to choose and responsibility to change that. So question 3 is, why do you think? So great, thanks for sharing those answers. So question 4. And I thank you. I'd love for you guys to share question 4 too, because it gives me feedback on what to, share with you. Question 4 is, what's the impact of not achieving your desire? What's the impact of not achieving your desire? You leave here today and you do nothing with this. What's the impact? You keep living your life the way you're living it. And for some people, maybe it's good enough. but you're not here because you want good enough. You're here because you want to go to the next level. Yeah, exactly, Gina. Pain. I repeat the cycle and stay stuck in small. Exactly. Now, here's what's really important, and you need to take, I need you all to hear this. Is so important. You need to take any judgment or self-criticism out of this. If you criticize and judge yourself, you stay stuck in the programming. You stay rooted in your story. This is about awareness. Once you are aware of this, you'll never go back. You have to get present. The impact is knowing I gave up on myself when I knew if I stuck with it, I would have reached my goal. Exactly. Staying stuck in an unsatisfying job, Melanie. Amazing. Not amazing that you'd stay stuck, but thanks for sharing. So you have to understand that this is Einstein, my favorite quote from Einstein, which is, you cannot solve the problem from the same level it was created. I could not get myself unstuck. That's why I worked with a coach, coaches for years. If you already knew how to get yourself unstuck, you would. You cannot solve the problem from the same level it was created because your ego will keep you where you are. You need someone who can see it and help you and guide you and take you on the path that's already been laid out so you can override your ego and create the desire based on your higher self. So knowing something, this is what I said back at the beginning, and doing it are different. Can you see that now? Knowing is based on your intellect. When people say, oh, I know, what they're saying is they intellectually understand. If they have not changed their behavior, they don't know anything. Knowing at the level of the truth is when your habits and patterns and behavior have changed. That's it. I'll say that again. Knowing intellectually is intellectually understanding. People love to intellectualize and say, oh, that's very cool. I understand that. But if their results have not changed, if their habits have not changed, if their patterns have not changed, it means they have not translated that to knowing at the level of the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is where all your habits and patterns are stored, and it works on pattern recognition. So until I actually did this work with various coaches in my life on different ways or different variations, and then started to really implement this with myself, I would have stayed stuck because knowing it intellectually has nothing to do with it. So what's the impact? So I got some of your impacts. Totally giving up on ourselves, playing small, kind of like being, things are just fine. When really we can have, when I see in some of my classes, like when people first start, and who they become, it's who you become at the end of this work. It's fascinating to me to see that most people give up on themselves, and that's what's so scary. And I really hope that every one of you on this session today will not give up on yourself, okay? So question 5 is, how serious are you about making this change? How serious are you about making this change? How badly do you want it? How important is it to you? Really think. Serious is this lockdown? I love that. I want everyone to share. How serious are you about making this change? How serious are you? I want you to just imagine for yourself. Give yourself, I want you to close your eyes for a minute here and do something for me here. Good, Gina. Good, Suzanne. Thank you. Very serious. Good. Because if you're not serious, I got to tell you this again. If it's lukewarm, you're not going to make the change. Serious but scared. Cool. You should be scared. Your subconscious mind is telling you to be scared because the unknown is scary. But I'm going to share with you in a few moments how you can do this in a way that will not be scary. Having some level of fear is actually a good sign. It means you're about to do something, right? It's like anytime you're about to do something exciting, like get on a plane to go on vacation or speak in front of people, there's a little bit of that fear, but it's good. It's actually motivating you. Yeah, great. So I want you to just imagine, close your eyes, imagine your life right now in 1 year from now. Imagine yourself in a year from now, living your life of your dreams, being with the people you love, calling people into your life that you love, having the financial and material abundance in your life that you want, having a level of happiness and fulfillment, living a life that you created as opposed to being at the mercy of your circumstances. Imagine what that feels like. And give yourself here permission to, for a few moments, to really sink into that feeling in your body of achieving that desire. Look at how your life has changed. Allow yourself here to feel the full range of emotions that accompanies this experience, all the love and the joy and the gratitude, the hope and the faith. And just let it sink in for another breath. And then open your eyes. And that's all possible. And here's what you need to remember and understand. If you can see a picture in your mind's eye, if you can picture it in your mind, the image, then you can create it in your life. You have to understand that what you saw for yourself there when you imagine yourself in a year is already there. You're already that person. You just have to learn how to unblock yourself to step into, this is key, the person you want to become. You're already that person energetically. If you have a desire, it means it desires you. That's a universal law. If you saw yourself somewhere in a year, it's already happening. It's a cause set in motion, but now you need to learn how to unblock yourself. So let me tell you more about that. So give me a minute here. I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to share with you my next event called the Masterclass series, okay? So a lot of you are here because you had friends tell you about it who have done my courses. And so this is what I'm sharing here with you today with a beautiful, very early bird special offer. So the Masterclass series is a 4-week online series. And it is 4 weeks consecutively starting December 2nd. I'll give you all the details here at the end. It's Zoom sessions, Zoom classes, much like this, but we're interactive because I get to see you for 4 weeks consecutively. They're 90-minute sessions in length, and I go deep into teaching you about your actual versus ideal self. What are you creating? Deep understandings of the conscious and subconscious minds. We learn about your core beliefs, core wounds, imprints, agreements, the contracts you have about yourself as a child, and we start to heal those, bringing in CBT training and all sorts of other beautiful things to really help you start to rewire those beliefs that you have about yourself that we talked about that are keeping you stuck from the vision of yourself that you saw. The Masterclass series is $297. It is completely a steal. The reason I priced it so low was because when COVID hit, I wanted to help a lot of people and I wanted there to be zero barrier to entry on joining, okay? That price is early bird price until midnight tonight, and then it goes up to $397 after midnight tonight. So if you know you want to do it, the course already half sold out. It was pretty much sold, half of it sold out even before today because people are, it's probably the 6th time I've run this course, so people are telling people about it. Go ahead and register today. And here's how you register. ceoblueprint.co/masterclass. You can even go do that while we're on this call. The ceoblueprint.co/masterclass. If you register today, another little bonus I'm giving you is this workbook that you're going to get that I used to give out at live events. And it's full of amazing content that's going to help take you through the 4-week program. So you really want to think for yourself. If there's anything showing up for you as to reasons why you shouldn't do this or reasons why you can't, you need to be really honest with yourself. If you're making it about money, then that's the thing that's always going to get in your way, okay? If you're making it about time, that's the thing that's always going to get in your way. If you're ready to take on having the breakthroughs in your life, I promise you, you will not be disappointed. This 4-week program is transformative. So ceoblueprint.co/masterclass, $297 if you go register today until midnight. Amazing. You guys have been So amazing. I really, really appreciate your chat. We have a few minutes left, and I am very happy to answer any questions that anybody has. Feel free to pop them in the chat, and we can chat for a few more minutes before I let you go and register yourself into this incredible program. So go ahead and pop your questions in the chat. I'm going to actually stop the screen share here. Make sure everyone has the link there. Okay, awesome. Here we're back. So let me look. Oh, what time are the sessions held? Great. So they're every Wednesday starting December 2nd from 11 to 12:30 p.m. They're 90-minute sessions. They are recorded and you have lifetime access of them. So if you cannot make one session for whatever reason, it's recorded and you usually get the recording 2 hours later so you can watch it. I actually tell people and invite people to watch the recordings back between sessions, because if you're even felt like you were drinking from a fire hose here today, I just bring so much value to the course. Oh, yay. Yes, Parveen is signed up and super excited to attend. So yes, they are Wednesdays from 11 to 12:30. Block your calendar off for the month of December. Have this be time. There's nothing more the best gift you can give yourself for Christmas or the holidays is this gift, because we're going to start to understand, how to, as we go deeper into my courses, manifest anything you want, clear your money blocks, okay? Clear the money blocks. Create what you desire. Give yourself permission to want what you want so that you're the authority in your mind. Let me see what other questions there are people popping up here. Some great. I'm already signed up for the master. Yes, you will get a workbook. If you're already signed up, Megan, who helps me with all this, will be sending you all a workbook if you were signed up before today. How many people are usually, James, involved in each session? It really depends on the group, and it can range from 20 to 40 to 60 people. It depends on how many people are registered. But it's a great, and part of the program that's so amazing is the community of people that come together. Oh, you also get a private WhatsApp group, so you get to connect with me between sessions. I usually drop voice notes in there. We're posting great quotes. It's such a beautiful community of people. Do you give homework? You guys this is the perfectionists coming out already. Yes, you get homework between sessions, but it's nothing that takes a lot of time. It's actually more learning new skills and actually rewiring some of those patterns. Nope, online group participation is not required. You only participate and share what you're comfortable sharing. You will get the course if you just show up, and you don't have to share. And some people, share and they get massive breakthroughs. So that's the way that the course is designed. Okay. So thank you so much for, thanks, James. I hope that you go sign up and register. Naomi, who's a student of mine in my last program right now, people, if you have people that have brought you here, you need to listen to and trust them. Like, this is going to be the best thing you ever do. What is Melanie? I know I'm stuck, but I don't know what my heart's desire is. Well, of course it'll help you. That's the whole point. We're going to get you super clear on what you want. Part of why you guys don't know what you want is because of your programming. If you grew up in a house where you were not given permission to want what you want, you need to learn how to do that. And the only way to learn how to do that is to unlearn, which is what you're going to learn in the masterclass, unlearn some of that programming. Okay? So go register, guys. If you have, even if you're feeling a little scared, take that action. I'm going to tell you why that's so important. The minute you take the action in the face of fear, you start to create a new pattern. I'm going to say that again. The minute you take action in the face of fear, you start to create a new pattern. If you're a perfectionist and one of your imprints or agreements or core beliefs is I need to be perfect, you're going to find all the reasons why this course doesn't work at the right time and the right date. Know that that's how your subconscious mind is sabotaging you. Okay, I promise you that. There's never a right time. There's never the right date. There's never right anything except for this moment right now. Okay, so ceoblueprint.co/masterclass. $297 until midnight tonight. Okay, guys, if there are no other questions, I'm so grateful for all of you who came on. I hope to see you on December 2nd. Thanks, Ron. I will continue to keep shining and bringing my energy to the world. This is my life's work. It's my purpose. I'm going to be teaching you all the things I've ever learned. It's going to blow your life away, and you're going to actually start to learn how to create the life of your dreams. Thank you so much, guys, for being so beautiful and bringing your energy to this space. Have a gorgeous Wednesday. I'll see you soon.